I see another skirmish brewing a few blocks ahead, fellas.
Okay, here's a look at X-Transbots masterpiece scale version of Protectobot blades. And hopefully you saw my unboxing first impressions video, because there I already covered all of the accessories, the bio card, and the no instructions booklet, X-Transbots. So now we can just go straight into the review, starting off first with the comparison with the animation model. And here you could see that, as usual, X-Transbots does a really nice job capturing the cartoon aesthetics, the sculpt, the shape, the proportions, the color, even the paint. Doesn't have that metallic paint like Fans Toys, but it is a nicely painted figure. And you could see they did a really nice job. And you know me, I can always point out all the little things that are off here and there, such as like the red kneecap area. It should be a little angled, and it should have a little triangle shape on the top that's missing. But you could see overall, yeah, I think they did a really nice job. And even from the back view, I think they did a nice job, specifically these red pieces sticking out. It doesn't really look that good as far as a figure goes, but in terms of cartoon accuracy, it is there. And I do like the fact that they put that there. So yeah, that's a nice little touch, capturing the cartoon aesthetics. So now we can just get into the figure. So here, let's zoom in and get a closer look so we can see the head. This one, I chose this head because it has a little bit more expressions. But yeah, they did give you alternate face plates you can use if you want. And the head is on a ball joint, so it can go up, it can go down. It can rotate side to side, and it can go a little bit all around, because if you see the back, yeah, it is a ball joint, but it's not that wide, so, but it's good enough. And then you could see the shoulders. Yeah, there are things I'm going to point out here. I mean, it is die cast, which is nice, but yeah, the tolerance is not done very well, so it doesn't hold up. And it's particularly on this side. Look at that. So this is another one of the X-Transbots figures where the execution of putting the figure together wasn't done very well. And maybe I'll show it to you later after I move it so you could see. The bad part of it is that it's on a pin. It's not on a screw, so you can't tighten it. But yeah, it is a die cast. Shoulders can go up. They can go forward and back on friction. And the way this was designed, they didn't design it so it had some clearance. I mean, just the design of the character, it's already in the way. But yeah, there are other ways you could design it. So you can get some bicep swivel, and the die cast, for the elbow joint, it is double jointed, so you can get double jointed. And I'll just take this off and I'll point this out later. This wasn't done very well either. And then you do get fist rotation, and the hand can go out to the side. Not like that. The other way, you could see the hinge. Like I said, this wasn't put together all that well. And then this is the design for their hands. You could see people complain about the the typewriter finger syndrome, but yeah, you could see. I'll just say this in short: these hands and fingers are definitely better than the ones on the Constructicons X-Transbots. So yeah, maybe we could start a petition to get X-Transbots to replace all the Constructicon hands with these hands, because well, no, they would have to make a screw here. But yeah, because those hands on the Constructicons are not done very well. Let's see, we spread his arms out. This one I was telling you, this is not put together very well. He does have a waist rotation, and he does have a very limited ab crunch. And so it's I don't know, maybe like 5 degrees or something. So yeah, that's a little limited, but for me it's okay. And then look at that. We do have some nice clickety ratchets for the legs, go forward and back. That doesn't sound good. The legs can go out to the side. So again, you could tell already this wasn't put together very well. And then the knee joint, he does have a knee joint. And there's a couple of things I want to point out here. First, I'll point out the problem. I don't know if I could show it to you, but well, at least a good thing, this is not like Fans toys where, you know, it kind of it doesn't hold up, because here you could see it does hold up. But the other problem with this, with X-Transbots, it's hard to get it to stay in place. I need to open this all up so you could see. But you could see there's a little white peg. It's supposed to go into that little slot back there. And that's the only thing holding this in together. And so when you do the reverse transformation back to robot mode and you put it back, yeah, I need to be very careful here. This is X-Transbots figure. And now I'm going to take up all of your time just because I wanted to show you that. Yeah, so you need to be careful. But yeah, the point is, yeah, it's only holding on that little peg right there to prevent this from collapsing. So you just have to, I mean, you can get a good amount of but here you could see I'm squeezing here to engage the knee joint. Because if you just do it that way, you might untab that one, and then this whole thing's going to come, just like it did right there, it's going to come collapsed. So like I said, you need to squeeze this and hold it to articulate the knee joint. Not put together very well. And then coming down to the feet, he does have ankle tilt, and he does have some foot going up and down. And so yeah, it's a well, and then yeah, I should also point out, I don't know if it was intentional, but this is part of the transformation. So those people who like all that extra articulation, you can get a butterfly joint, so you can get some nice dynamic poses. So as usual, aside from the nicely sculpted figure, nicely proportioned, it does have a nice paint, not the metallic paint like Fans toys, but it is still very nicely painted. And I'm not saying Fans toys because I prefer Fans toys better. It's just pointing out the difference. But the main thing is it's nicely painted. You could see, yeah, it is. They did a nice job sculpting the figure, painting the figure, and all that good stuff. But now, when we come down to the, and then you saw the articulation, form and function. There's some areas like here. It's really frustrating because, you know, I know X-Transbots can do a good job, and when it comes to things like this that can easily be fixed, and we get figures like this, it's really gonna upset me a lot because, yeah, I mean, that's just showing how much they didn't care to fix that. And also here, this is a design issue. This wasn't designed very well where that tab comes out. And as you probably already saw here, this area, just like how you have to be careful when you're manipulating the knee joint, you also have to be careful when you're articulating here because these will open up. It's not toleranced very well. And I'm not going to go explaining, you know, product design, how to, you know, they could easily fix that, but I'm just pointing out the same thing. You know, there's just issues throughout this figure they didn't bother to fix, and it's very frustrating because I know they can easily fix it, and that's really just pointing out that they really didn't care to make the effort to fix these little things like this. So that's why I'm, you know, really upset. But I'm also pointing it out just so you're aware of things that you need to know. And then when we come to the back, there's more issues, specifically with the way they handled these blades back here. You could see that they don't really lock in place. But in case you didn't know, here, this piece here does pull out, and it does lock this one side of the blade. So you could see this doesn't really move, but this side, they didn't do anything to prevent this from moving back. So what I did is I actually tried to put some glue, Elmer's glue there, to try to kind of hold it in place. Yeah, so this wasn't designed very well. But yeah, overall, I think it's still a nice looking figure. There's just a lot of functional issues with it. And also here, these side pieces, there's some clearance issues, but here you could see I angled it back a little bit. So here, the arm, you could see it straight down. And this should also technically be straight down to just the design of the character. But when you do that, you could see you don't have the clearance here. So that's why I kind of put these, I don't know what you call them, shields or whatever, angled back a little bit. And then by doing that, you can engage the articulation a little bit better this way. So if you plan to keep it in robot mode, I think this is probably the best way to position these side armor or shields or whatever you call those things. But yeah, so here is a look at Blades in his robot mode. I didn't get to point out everything I feel is important to know about this figure. But I think you maybe understand the main point is that there are multiple issues throughout this figure where you need to handle this with caution and care, just to prevent things from, this opening up, or the tab here holding the knee in place from coming untabbed. And even little things like where you grab the figure, because if you're not careful, yeah, you might just keep knocking things here, especially back here, this piece. This is a really thin piece of plastic, and when you're grabbing, handling it, or when you're transforming it, you might accidentally cause a crack and a break to this area. Or little things like, yeah, see the blades, you see just this will easily come untabbed because it's not toleranced very well. Just throughout the figure, there's just multiple areas where they did not make the effort to fix a lot of these issues. So the main point again is, yeah, you just need to be careful when handling this figure, especially when you're transforming it, because things are not as simple as, oh, this goes here, that's why you see me always point out, you don't just show how you handle a figure like that, because when you're seeing that, there's the evidence of how people break it when they're transforming it. Because if they handle the figure like this, that's exactly how they're handling the figure when trying to take like the head off or something, and then you don't show that video to hide the evidence, but the evidence is there on all the other videos where figures were broken. But anyways, just wanted to make the point clear that you need to be careful when handling this figure. So now, with that, now let's do some comparisons. So here, let's bring out the Mastermind creations. And here, let's come down a little bit so you could see the difference between these two. So first, obviously, this one's shorter. And personally, I actually like the way X-Transbots looks, because I think they did a nicer job capturing the cartoon aesthetics a little bit more accurately than the Mastermind creations. Just the overall shape, the proportions. But to be fair, you have to take into consideration that this is all built in. So here you have Defensor's hand in here and the joints and stuff. So that's going to naturally compromise the shape and form of the figure. So when you take that into consideration, I think this was still made very well. But this figure does have a lot of frustrating issues with it, just like the X-Transbots. So the first is the engineering. Yeah, you have, I mean, there's sliding joints and all that stuff. Trying to get everything to collapse in is very complicated, kind of like the X-Transbots. But the big difference is the quality of the plastic here. You have to apply force here to get things to move and tab in, but there's no worry about breakage, and you don't have to apply force with control to prevent breakage like this one, again, because of the quality of the plastic. But there are also little nitpicky, frustrating things that maybe you already saw. This thing. This is really frustrating because this is an easy fix. All they had to do was thicken up that tab so that it would secure in here a little bit more securely. Or they could have done what Fans Toys does, paint this and using the friction from the paint to help get it in place. And then you're going to have to apply force to get it to tab in, just like X-Transbots figures. So there, yeah, my point is, you know, one's not better than the other because both of these have little issues here and there with both. So yeah, here's just a quick look at the comparisons between the two. And I'll just do this also here, just compare these two with the animation from the back view. And you could see X-Transbots does a nice job capturing the toon aesthetics. But like I said, you have to keep in mind that this is all built in. So yeah, that's why you're going to have things looking the way it does. And I didn't point this out, but you know, these little red things, it's not 100% accurate because it should technically have kind of like a L shape. But yeah, that's me just being nitpicky. I can point out I can go on and on just pointing out every single thing. But I think the main thing is just so you could see the difference between the two. And both of these, all things considered, I think are done pretty well. They both look good, although X-Transbots definitely captures the cartoon aesthetics a little bit more accurately than the Mastermind creations. And then, for another comparison, I'm not bringing out the original G1 because, like I said, I don't want to do more work and bring that out anymore. And I said I'll just leave that up to MGO to show you the comparisons with the G1. But I still did a lot of work just for this review so you could see the comparisons next to the other Protectobots by X-Transbots. So here he is next to Blades. And then let's see if we can get a group shot here where we can see all of them. And here he is next to Streetwise. Let's see if we can come down this way. And let's see, zoom out maybe a little bit. And then let's bring out Groove. And now you could see how all these guys look all next to each other. And I want to share things here. So I literally took a lot of time to transform each one of these with no instructions, no image references. And so part of me, I do that because I actually enjoy the process of figuring things out and helps me to understand how things are supposed to be manipulated. and you know, finding hinges, sliding joints, this and that, figuring things out, knowing how to do it very carefully without breakage. So I discover things where some areas are tight, so you don't know if you're supposed to apply force, but maybe if it's not meant to and you apply force, then you might break it, things like that. So it's kind of fun in that sense where, you know, you discover a lot of things as you're taking the time to figure out how to transform these. And I don't know this for sure, but my assumption is I think the reason why other people don't go through that process of figuring out how to transform these very safely and correctly is because they don't have the patience. I mean, that's understandable. I mean, who wants to be spending a lot of time transforming a complicated figure? So you want to quickly get through it. And that's where one of the big mistakes happen, how breakage happens. Because if you don't have the patience and you're doing this and you don't take the time to stop and think and analyze how it should be maneuvered, you're going to break it. So yeah, I'm just sharing things that I noticed as I'm figuring out how to transform each one of these. And like I said, it was actually kind of fun. But the main thing here for the review is you could now see what all of these look like next to each other. And I'll tell you that there's something I like about this, in that they're not all the same size. And they kind of scale in relationship to what they actually are. So Blade should actually be the biggest because he's a helicopter. Probably the next one should be Hotspot because he's the ambulance. And then he should be taller than Streetwise because, you know, this is a car, this is an ambulance. And he should be the smallest because he's a motorcycle. So I kind of like the scale. This looks nice. Unfortunately, I don't plan to keep these in their individual robot mode or their alt mode. I plan to have this as my Defensor. Hopefully that's going to turn out well, not like their Menasor. And so, yeah, instead of rambling, yeah, I just thought I'd do one last comparison so you could see what all of these look like in their together with the other Protectobots. So now let's transform Blades from his robot mode to his alt mode and take a look at that.
To be continued.